Okay, good morning everybody. So since the studio is closed, I wanted to film a little something for you guys just to help you develop or get into a home practice if you haven't already. Because I know, like many of you, I'm kind of itching to move. And sometimes it's nice to have somebody guiding you so you don't have to think. So I'll be doing just a little mini flow for you today. I'll try to post maybe one every day so that we can kind of stay connected and stay together, because I do miss you guys tremendously, and I want to be able to be with you even though I'm not with you. So hello from the studio. It's still the same. Everything's good. Sorry. I'm going to try to do my best to teach even though nobody is here. And so we'll kind of see how it goes, and hopefully it goes okay and I can post this and I won't have to delete it. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you haven't found a comfortable place in your house or outside, go ahead and find a cozy place. I'm not going to use any props today because I know many of us don't have props at home. And you know, those of you that know me, you know how difficult that is because I love props. But we're gonna go bare bones, no props today, just really simple, easy stuff that can kind of just get you moving. And so maybe, maybe today we'll just start by setting the intention of feeling connected to each other, even though we're not around each other, and reminding ourselves that our practice is more than just moving on our mats, that our practice is off the mat, it's in our world, it's in our daily lives, the way that we treat each other, and especially the way that we treat ourselves, the way that we think about ourselves, the way that we talk to ourselves. So maybe make this practice today about moving and breathing and feeling good, so that you can then pass that feeling of goodness on to other people. So kind of imagine that you're just refilling your empty cup. You're kind of saying to yourself, okay, this is my moment to recharge, to refill, to feel good. All right, so we're gonna start out in child's pose, and I'm gonna be turning this and that way just to see what's least awkward. So we're gonna start out in child's pose. You can have knees wide or knees together, whatever you like. Arms forward or back, whatever you like. And I'm gonna say this for my sake as well as yours. Let's forget about what it looks like and think more about what it feels like, reminding ourselves that there's no right or wrong, there's just movement and keeping our bodies safe, okay? So starting in child's pose, taking a couple of deep breaths, maybe wiggling around a little bit if it feels good, and then really starting to deepen your breath, pressing your forehead into the mat, and focusing on that pressure of your forehead on the mat. And maybe as you breathe, kind of feel the way that your lungs expand and contract, the way your ribs expand and contract, the way that your whole body moves to give you deep, full breaths. And after a couple of breaths in child's pose, then as you're ready, go ahead and make your way forward to hands and knees position. And so bringing wrists under shoulders and knees under hips, we'll start with a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So with the breath in, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. On the exhale, round the spine, curl in, chin to chest. Inhale to cow. Exhale, round out. Inhale, cow. Exhale, round out. And then just coming back to neutral. From here, go ahead and tuck your little toes under and sitting your hips to your heels, giving your piggies a little stretch, maybe rock side to side if it feels good. And then kind of relaxing the head and neck here. Spreading the fingers wide, starting to firm up the arms, preparing for your downward facing dog. So take a nice big breath in. And then with your exhale, go ahead and lift your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. And I'm gonna reposition so you can actually see me. And so in down dog, remember it might feel good to kind of pedal out a little bit It might feel good to just kind of bend both knees and crouch back or wiggle around. Anything that feels good. I like to pop my little toes. Anything that feels good. And then relaxing your head and neck. So maybe even giving it a little shake. Pressing into all your fingers. Relaxing into the shoulders. Thinking about pulling the ribs in so that we're not so vigorously pressing back. And then we'll start to take a little movement into this. So doing a little bit of these little wave-like motions. And again, doesn't matter what it looks like, just matters what it feels like. So with your breath in, come high up on the balls of your feet, roll forward like a little wave. Pause in your plank. Oh, it's been a while since I've done plank, and I feel it. And then exhale, chin to chest, roll it back. And again, inhale, roll forward. And exhale, roll back. And one more, inhale, roll forward. And exhale, roll back. All right. And then from downward facing dog, when you're ready, stretch back, look forward, and with an exhale, step or walk your feet to your hands. That could be one giant step. That could be a bunch of baby steps, whatever you like. As you come to your fold, if you want to bend your knees, go ahead and take that option. If you want straight legs, go ahead and take it. Relax the upper body. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Good. Once more, inhale, up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. And then bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathing in. Head and neck come up last. Fix your pants if you need to. Then inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. Feel free to bend your knees as you come down if it feels good. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, roll up. Shoulders down, exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale and fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale and fold. And then one more, bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up. Shoulders down the back with the exhale. And then from here, we're gonna do a little shoulder stretch. So first, starting reaching out and up, think about touching palms, give yourself a high five because you're doing this home practice. Then exhale, reach out, down, and back, interlace fingers. And so when you interlace fingers, you can have elbows bent or you can straighten the arms if that feels good. Either way. And then lengthening the spine, you can hang out here or you can bend the knees, fold over your legs, relax your head and neck. Hands can rest at your back or you can lift them away from your back. If it feels good, you can even press palms together. And remembering that if you're feeling kind of a lot of resistance here, where you're trying to pull your hands, maybe just let them rest. Maybe relax here. Good, take a couple of breaths. And then with your next inhale, come up halfway. Hands can kind of rest at your back. And then with the exhale, fold. From your fold, put your fingertips down, put a little baby bend in your knees. Take your left foot, step way back. Place your left knee down. Adjust if you need to. So when you relax your hips forward, just making sure that your knee doesn't go past your ankle. And so you can keep fingertips on either side. If this feels kind of smushed to you, sometimes you can use blocks. If you don't have blocks, dictionaries maybe, who knows? A couple of cans of tomatoes, I don't know, whatever you have at home. Or you can even take your hands to your knee, peel your chest up, roll the shoulders back, or you can even reach up if it feels good. So breathing here, and then with the exhale, hands come down, tuck those back toes, slide back to down dog. And then we'll take a little modified vinyasa. So on the inhale, come forward to plank, just like you did before. This time with the exhale, lower knees, then chest and chin together, elbows close to the ribs, and your butt kind of stays in the air like a little worm. So with the exhale, think about giving your mat a kiss. Then untuck the toes, inhale, cobra. Roll the shoulders back, elbows in, just a little teeny tiny lift. Exhale, sit the hips to the heels, push back, downward facing dog. With your next exhale, your left foot is gonna step between the hands. Right knee is gonna come down, hips rest forward. Inhaling to fingertips. Maybe those cans of tomatoes, I don't even know why I said that. Then maybe take hands to knees, or maybe reach all the way up. Your choice, full breath in, and then exhale, hands come down. Then from here, tuck your right toes under, push off the back foot, come forward, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up. Exhale, shoulders down. Same thing, other side, moon salutation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. From your fold, again, a little bend in the knees, fingertips down, right foot steps way back. Right knee drops down. Hips forward, inhale, fingertips, cans of tomatoes, knee, or all the way up, full breath. Exhale, hands come down, slide back, downward facing dog. Stay in your down dog, or inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, give your mat a little kiss. Inhale, pull forward, baby cobra. Shoulders back, head and neck relaxed. Exhale, sit the hips to the heels, push back, down dog. And then from down dog with your exhale, right foot steps, left knee drops, hips rest forward. Inhale, your choice. And exhale, hands come down. Tuck the back toes, push off, beak, and left foot comes down. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathe in. Shoulders down, exhale. I'm already sweating, you might be too, that's cool. Then from here, bring your feet and legs together. You guys know I love to do chair. So I'm actually gonna turn this way so you can see, but you can have chair in a couple of different ways, right? So you can have your legs pressing together. It might feel good to take your feet hips width distance. It might feel good to even go wider, but really paying attention to the lower back because we don't want any pelvis movement like this where you're a little, remember we've talked about your pelvis is like a bowl of water. You don't want the water to spill forward or spill back, so kind of keeping it neutral. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry about that. Take hands to heart, breathe in, and then with the exhale, bend the knees, wiggle in. Good. And so here's where you want to pay attention to the pelvis. So you don't want to think about letting your butt curl back. Think about pulling it under, a little dainty chair. And then you can change up the arms, so hands can stay here, hands can go to hips, arms can reach up. And you can make the chair as light or as intense as you want it to be, but keep the head and neck relaxed. You don't need to feel like you need to look forward, just kind of keep it relaxed. And breathe here. And then maybe you want to bring the hands to heart, shift all the way to the right foot, pick your left foot up like a little flamingo. Good. Maybe this is too much. You want to just tap your toe down. That's cool too. And then left foot comes down. Shift the weight to the left. Maybe pop your right foot back. Maybe lift it up. Maybe don't do it at all. And breathe here. And then with an exhale, right foot comes down. Breathe in. Exhale, snuggle into your chair a little deeper. Then press down. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale to fold. Separate your feet slightly. And then go ahead and take your hands down. Step back to your downward facing dog. So your first option is to just kind of hang out in your down dog. Maybe this feels good. Maybe you're like, uh-oh, haven't done yoga in a couple days and I need a water break. And that's cool. Take it. I'm panting, you can tell. So maybe take a little break, maybe take a little child's pose, or maybe take a vinyasa. Modified, full vinyasa, half and half, whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. So you can do your little knees, chest, chin, you can do a modified chaturanga, or you can do regular chaturanga, your choice, whatever feels good. So if you're hanging out in down dog and you want to, inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower your choice. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Oh, that feels good. And then exhale, down dog. And then take about 3 deep breaths in down dog. Maybe in through the nose, maybe out through the mouth. And then from down dog, inhale, take that right leg up and back for a 3-legged dog. So your 3-legged dog can be a little lift, it can be a bigger lift, but you want to think about keeping the hips stable and steady so the foot is flexed, so you're not opening up here. So first find stability, and then with the exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Drop the back heel parallel to the back of the mat, preparing for warrior 2. Inhale, bring it up, warrior 2. So setting up your stance, and remember that your stance, it's not a cookie cutter position, so you can kind of change it up as much as you need to. You just want to be sure that your knee doesn't go past your ankle and that you're pressing your knee open so it doesn't buckle in, right? And then think about pressing equal weighting to both feet, arms reach out, gazing forward, breathe. Good. And then from here, we'll take reverse warrior to kind of open up side body. So a couple of options. Your first option, you reach forward, flip the palm, reach back. Left hand can stay, left hand can reach, or my personal favorite, first 2 fingers, make a little hook, pull back like a bow and arrow, and you make a head rest. And you can really pull back and get in there. Keep the bend in the front knee and breathe here. And then inhale back through center, arms reach out. Gazing forward. With the exhale, we're going to take the hands down around the right foot. Turn onto the ball of the left foot. Maybe adjust your stance. You want a super long lunge so your butt's not way up. Bring it down. Then left hand under your shoulder, maybe on a block if you have it, maybe on your can of tomatoes if you have that. Right hand to the outside of the right knee. Breathe in, lengthen, and then start to twist open, reaching that right arm up. Good. If you want to, you can put the back knee down here. Your choice. Breathe. And then with the exhale, right hand comes down, slide it back, downward facing dog. Stay in your down dog or take the vinyasa, your choice. I'm skipping the vinyasa. This is me skipping the vinyasa. Inhale when you're ready, from down dog, left leg goes up and back, foot flex, toes down. So just hanging out, getting a little baby inversion here. Remember, hips are nice and even, so you don't want any collapsing in the hip. You don't want any opening up necessarily right here. And then with your exhale, step the foot through, drop it parallel. Inhale, come up, warrior 2. Well, this is a weird view for you, sorry. And then we'll take our side body opening. So once we get settled into warrior 2, then we can start to add some variations, but you want to feel stable and secure first. So adjust if you need to, wiggle in. And then inhale, reach forward, flip the palm, and you can reach. You can take the right hand, reach behind the back. Or you can take your little bow and arrow, first 2 fingers, pull back, make your head rest, and breathe there. And then back through center, warrior 2, breathe in. Exhale, hands come down around the foot. Turn onto the ball of the back foot, adjust the stance. So give yourself a wider base. Then right hand under right shoulder, looking for that twist. Left hand to the outside of the knee. Inhale to lengthen, and then twisting open. And so this knee is gonna want to buckle open. Think about hugging it in. Remember, you can always put the back knee down if that feels good. And breathe here. Gaze can be up at the hand, maybe down at your mat, maybe at the camera, but that feels weird, so I'm gonna look up. And then exhale, left hand comes down, slide it back. Same option, stay in down dog, maybe take a child's pose, or maybe take the vinyasa. Your choice. And then from your downward facing dog, go ahead and step, walk, or hop to the front of your mat. I'm gonna take a little step. And then from here, inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale and fold back down. From here, we're gonna walk our little feet out to the edges of the mat. Turning the toes out, the heels in. We're gonna come into Malasana, garland pose. So go ahead and bend the knees and kind of squat down like a little frog. And so a lot of times this position may not feel great, depending on your hips, your knees, your ankles, whatever. You can always support underneath your hips. So normally in class we use blocks, but if you don't have blocks at home, you can take a couple of cushions or pillows and kind of sit on them. You can take something else completely. Maybe if you have a nice thick book or something, you can use that instead. And so you can always keep hands down for stability. You can always bring hands together at the heart like you're praying. You can also open the arms up. I like to kind of open them up because then I can use my elbows to help push the knees open. And I even like to add a little movement here. So kind of wiggle around and breathe. And if you don't like to wiggle, then you can just kind of hang out. But this is a great position, especially if you're like me, you've been sitting a lot. And so this kind of really helps make your lower back and your hips feel happy. And so remember, if you ever feel what I call red flag sensation, so anything hot, burning, pinching, you feel like you can't breathe, come out of the position, right? Our practice is not meant to make us feel pain, it's meant to make us feel good. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Breathe here. And then as you're ready, fingertips can come down gently. Start to bring weight into your hands. On the exhale, very carefully and slowly unfold your legs. Walk your little feet back in. Inhale as you lengthen halfway. Exhale as you fold back down. And then bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathe in, shoulders down, fix your pants if you need to. And then from here, we'll go ahead and go into some balance positions. So lots of variety with balance poses, and we'll kind of take them in little steps. So starting with hands on the hips and keeping the feet about the width of the hips, go ahead and shift onto the right foot, come up onto the ball of your left foot. Maybe this feels good and you hang out here. Maybe you want to hover your left foot. Ooh. Maybe you want to bring it up higher, flexing the foot. And so if you're going to bring it up higher, I like to imagine there's a little box and it's like my foot is resting on that box. Maybe take the hands to heart. Maybe reach up. Maybe reach out. Your choice. Breathe here. And I like to keep the gaze down. If you want to challenge your gaze or your balance, you can shift the gaze up. There's a mirror right in front of me, so if I look at myself, I know I'll fall over, so I'm looking down. Then from here, maybe we shift into warrior three, maybe just for fun. Hands to heart, breathe in. Exhale, chest forward, leg back. Good, so keeping the foot flexed, it's going to be tempting to want to open this hip up. Think about keeping it in line, flex the foot. Keep the chest lifted, breathe. And remember, your warrior three can be a big warrior three or a little warrior three. You can even tap that foot down. And then we're gonna start to pivot back up. So a little bend in the front knee. Inhale, slow motion, come back up. And then exhale, step out. Do a little wiggle if you need to. And then we'll take it on the other side. So then from here, shift the weight to the left foot, hands start on the hips. Popping up onto your right toes, maybe stay there. Maybe hover your right foot. Maybe lift a little bit, maybe lift a lot. Breathe here. And so once you have stability, then add variations if you want to. So hands can stay, hands can go to heart, up, out, back. Surprise me, whatever you want. I'm gonna pretend that I can see you. Unless that's creepy, then I won't. I'll stop talking. Breathe here. Good. Then when you're ready, maybe take that warrior three, maybe not. So lengthen, and then with the exhale, chest forward, leg back. So it can be little, it can be big. Flex the foot, keep the hips stable and even. Breathe here. And then when we're ready to pivot back up, little bend in the front knee, protect the joint. Then inhale, slowly pivot back up. And then we'll step out. And a little shake. And let's go ahead and do a standing vinyasa. So inhale, reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll it up. Shoulders down the back with the exhale. Good. From here, we're gonna work into our Vrikshasana tree pose. So I'm gonna turn so you can see my sassy pants. And we're gonna take tree pose. So tree pose. So in our tree pose with our sassy pants, we're gonna start with hands on the hips, feet about the width of the hips, right? And so then I'm gonna shift the weight onto the right foot, pop up onto my left toes. So I'm opposite you because I'm not mirroring you correctly. Then from here, maybe I stay, right? Maybe I need to focus on balance here, or take my knee, my left knee, I open it like a little door, and then maybe start to slide the foot toward the ankle. So this is my first option, right? And so then if this feels good, maybe I slide up. I want to keep pressing the knee open and the hips even so I'm not popping my right hip out, right? And so, let me find my balance again, sorry. So we're here, right? And if I want to take it up more, I can, right? So I can take my foot all the way up into my inner thigh if I like to, but I want to avoid pressing on the knee. And so sometimes you see a lot of knee pressing. Our knees are not meant to bend side to side, only front to back. So you want to avoid putting unnecessary pressure, yikes, on that knee joint, right? And so whatever variation you like, if you like to practice Ardha Padmasana, that little half lotus pose, go for it. And breathe here. And then once you find balance, you can start to change up the arms. So if you want to reach up, or open, or sway, whatever you want. And then to come out of our pose, we want to think about closing the door. So as I inhale, I'm going to close the door. I'm going to exhale, press my heel forward, and then step out. Oof, this leg's on fire a little bit. All right, now we'll take the other side. So I'm going to start on hips, left foot down. Pop up onto my right toes, feeling sassy. Maybe open the door. Maybe slide the foot. Maybe slide up, maybe stay, maybe slide up. Good. And so I like to imagine that I'm pressing this knee open. My foot is putting a lot of pressure on my leg, but my leg is pushing back into my foot so my hips are even, right? And then hands, can come to the heart. You can reach up, you can reach out, you can sway, you can fall out. Trees fall all the time, no big deal. And then, when we're ready, on the inhale, think about closing your door, bink. On the exhale, press it forward, bink. And then step out. And a little shake. And I'm gonna turn, we're gonna do a full vinyasa and then take it down onto the mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold, hands down, step or jump back. If you're jumping, try jumping to chaturanga and lower. Inhaling up, exhaling back. And then we're gonna make our way through to seated. Okay, and I'm gonna turn to face you guys again. Good, and so as we come to seated, just cross your legs however you like to cross them. It really doesn't matter. You just want to feel comfortable. Both sits bones down, so one butt isn't way up. Okay, and then, sorry, I heard the neighbors next door. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. So first we're gonna keep a flat back and just kind of see how it feels. And I even like to take my fingertips and push back, right? So that I get a little bit more into my lower back and into my hips. And then from here, we'll do a little side body love. So take both hands and walk them over to one side. I'm walking over to the left, but it may look like you're right. And then inhale back to center. Exhale over to the other side. It doesn't have to be a lot of big movement either. Sometimes those small movements can get into those little nooks and crannies of our bodies. And then I'm going to inhale back to center. With the exhale, just going to walk my hands back. And then from here, we're going to take Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. I'm gonna turn this way. And so for a cobbler's pose, sometimes it feels nice to prop underneath the hips with a blanket, which you might have at home, or even a little pillow, which again, you may have at home. And so remembering that your heels don't have to be super close to you. I can bring them in really close if I want to, but a lot of times that may not feel good, so I may want to go out a little bit further, and that's cool too. And then lengthening the spine, and I can just hang out here. Maybe this feels good. And I like to think of this position, and some people do it differently, and that's fine too. I like to think of it as being a little bit more passive. So I'm not pushing down, right? I'm just kind of easing into it. Those of you who don't know me as a teacher, I am a little bit softer when it comes to practicing. And softer doesn't necessarily mean easy, but I like to be soft, right? So we'll breathe here, and then if you want to, with the exhale, you can kind of lean forward. And so a couple of options here. So if you're gonna lean forward, I do suggest keeping a flat back so that you can take full deep breaths. Sometimes rounding out, it's hard to breathe. If you do want to round out, this is where I would recommend a prop. So normally I would take a block and put it on top of my feet and then let my forehead rest down on it to give myself support. If you don't have a block, remember, take anything that you have at home, right? Be creative with it. And then let me know what you used and we can pass it on. And you're breathing. And then with your next breath, gently come back in. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and take it down onto the mat, right? We're gonna start to kind of wind down. So bring the knees in. Before we come down onto the mat, we're gonna do one of my favorite things to do. It's just good for your hips and your back. So I like to lean back like I'm watching TV, right? Something I'm an expert at doing these days. Take your feet about the width of your mat. And if you don't have a mat, just go a little bit wider than hips width. And then I like to do little windshield wipers side to side. And I like to think about pressing all the way down, right? To give the hips a good amount of love. And if you can't press all the way down, if maybe you feel a little resistance here, that's perfectly fine and perfectly normal. And then if you like this movement and you're like, ooh, let's do a little more, you can try it with no hands, which looks like it would be really easy, but it's kind of challenging, I think, right? And then from here, we'll go ahead and make our way down onto the mat. So as we come onto the mat, keep your feet flat, knees bent, arms forward, palms up, and think about rolling down without lifting your feet up, which again, seems like it should be easy, but it's kind of hard. So you're breathing in, and then with the exhale, you just have to roll down, keep pressing your feet down, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, until you come all the way down. You kind of flop the last couple inches, that's okay. So then we're here, feet flat, and again, I like to do little windshield wipers. I'm also just adjusting my pants here. And then once we come back to neutral, then from here, you can take an inversion of your choice. So I'm gonna do bridge pose today, whatever you wanna do at home. If you wanna skip the inversion, that's cool too. And in fact, today, we're gonna do little rolling bridges because I think they feel so good. And so feet about the width of the hips, toes forward, right? Arms down by the sides. We're gonna press into our little feetsies. Inhale to lift up, full breath in. Feel that weight. Lift the heels, exhale, roll down. And so like a little wave, press down, inhale, lift up, full breath in. Lift the heels, exhale, full exhale to roll down like a little wave. Feet press back down again, inhale, lift, full breath in. Lift the heels, exhale, slow roll down. And then once you come down, then again, maybe a little windshield wipers if it feels good. And then from here, we're gonna pull the knees into the chest. Maybe rock side to side. You can use your hands if you like to, fronts of the knees, backs of the knees, shins, whatever you like. You also don't have to use the hands. Sometimes it feels good to just kind of wiggle around on your own and see how it feels. But go ahead and rock side to side. That may feel good to your lower back, kind of give it a little bit of love. And then we'll take a reclined twist here. So with the knees together, I'm gonna drop them both to the right. Open up the left arm. And so normally if your spine kind of feels like you're kind of off to one side, take your right shoulder, walk it to the right an inch or so, and that may feel good. And just kind of breathe here. You can look over your left shoulder if you like to and say hi to me. Talking into my phone is just very odd, but that's okay. I do it because I love you guys. And then I'm going to inhale back to the center. Give my knees a little hug. And then with my exhale, drop them both to the left. Open up the right arm. And again, I may want to walk my left shoulder to the left. That may feel good. And then when you're ready, inhale back to center. Give your knees a little squeeze, give them a little hug. Tell your body, thank you so much for protecting me, for keeping me safe, right? And then from here, any last pose you want to do before Shavasana. Some of you like to do a happy baby or maybe take a shoulder stand or whatever. Go ahead and take those options. I'm going to go ahead and get cozy in my Shavasana. And so remember that Shavasana sometimes may not feel good on your back recline, so you can take it on your side. You can take it on your abdomen. If you're close to a wall, throw your legs up the wall, that's fine too. If you have a pillow at home, under the knees will feel great. Maybe a blanket underneath your head and neck, whatever you want. And then we're just gonna hang out here for a couple of breaths. So take up as much space as you want to, and just fair warning, if you want to take full Shavasana, go ahead and turn the video off now, because I'm only gonna be here for a couple of breaths. And then we're gonna close. But if you want like a 10-minute Shavasana, turn the video off now and you do your thing. Take up as much space as you like to. I'm actually pretty sweaty right now, so I'm gonna go arms up because it's a little bit more cooling to me. And then just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Close your eyes. If you have a little towel at home, maybe drop it over your eyes. Maybe that feels good to you. And whatever else is going on, maybe at home or anything that you can hear, maybe you hear your family or your kids or your pets or something, think about just kind of giving yourself a few minutes of silence. Just kind of let yourself think about and only focus on your breath. Maybe even think to yourself, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And one of my favorite things to kind of say during Shavasana, a little mini meditation, and a lot of you have heard me say it already, is thinking to myself, when I breathe in, I feel calm. When I breathe out, I feel peace. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel peace. When I breathe in, I think calm. When I breathe out, I think peace. Breathing in, calm. Breathing out, peace. And then as you lie here resting, imagine I come around with a little aromatherapy spray if you like that. If you don't like it, I'm not doing it. So I'm going to take about 3 more breaths. And just so you know, if you're practicing at home, go ahead and give yourself a good 8 to 10 minute Shavasana. Really practice just being still, not having to do anything, think anything, be anything. Just breathing. And then to come out of Shavasana whenever you're ready, hopefully 10 minutes from now. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe rotating wrists and ankles. And with your next breath in, maybe reaching up, stretching out like you're waking up from a nap. And then with the exhale, arms come down, bend the knees. And you can either just bend the knees and maybe do a little windshield wiper. Maybe you want to pull the knees all the way in and rock side to side. That may feel good. And then when you're ready, rolling all the way onto your right side and letting your head rest on your arm. Pause there. And then And use your hands to help you press up to seated. And I'm gonna turn to face you guys again. Good. And as we come to seated, keeping the eyes closed, or you can just kind of keep a soft gaze, letting the hands rest on the knees, palms up, long spine, full breath in, full exhale. And in this gesture of receiving, with the palms up, allowing ourselves to receive the opportunities that life presents to us, reminding ourselves that sometimes those opportunities are disguised as obstacles. And so giving ourselves permission to take time for ourselves, to take time to take care of ourselves. And so imagining that we are receiving all that we need in this moment, receiving patience, understanding, compassion, unconditional love, peace, connection, community. And now bringing the hands together at the heart, palms gently touching. And in this gesture of gratitude and humility, we close our practice, reminding ourselves to be grateful for who we are, for what we have, and making it part of our intention to practice our gratitude in our thoughts, words, and actions, in the way that we treat each other, and especially the way that we treat ourselves. Making it part of our daily commitment to pay attention to the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we think about ourselves, and the way that we treat ourselves. Practicing our yoga off the mat and reminding ourselves that our yoga is in our thoughts, words, and actions. And so we close our practice today. And I thank you for being here with me. I thank you for being my community, for being my family, for being my friends. I thank you for being understanding and patient, and for sharing this time with me. And I offer each and every one of you loving kindness. And we close our practice saying together and to each other, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for practicing with me. I hope that you enjoyed it. It was just a little mini flow. If you did like it, let me know and I'll do a little bit more. If you have a request, let me know and I'll do this as much as I'm able to. And I know that, this is not the best thing, but it's something, and something that I can offer you guys. And you know that without you, there would be no studio, there would be no community, there would be no sharing. And so I thank you, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you all so very soon. But we want to remember to keep ourselves happy, healthy, and well, right? And so maybe take time to really practice your meditation. There's some great apps. The Calm app is really awesome if you need help practicing meditation, because I do too. So that's one that I recommend. Or look online, there's a lot of YouTube videos and stuff.